to another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. It's great to have you. It's the end of Navaratri, yet the beginning of something new as we go back to where we were before Navaratri, which is exploring what's your path. The Bhagavad Gita outlines 18 different paths of yoga that you can use in your daily life. It's a little rainy. It's just starting to rain. If you see me suddenly run with this, I'm getting out of the rain. It's a little mist. I think we can make it. Being outside, can you hear the airplane? You know, this could help with my program today. The unexpected. The unexpected happens all the time, and it can be a source of frustration or a gateway. Because often when we're frustrated, it's because things are not going the way we expect them to. This is what's happening for Arjun. He's going to be a great fighter in this war, and he expects to be cheery and happy about it until, of course, he realizes he's going to actually have to kill people he knows and loves. This is the gateway for his introspection. When frustrations come up during the day, it's an awesome opportunity for us to take some introspection, because every time we can let go of our preconceived notions about what's happening, it's like a little death. In yoga psychology, from that point of view, every time you change, it's a death. Every time I breathe in, something changes, that's a little death. And every time I breathe out, something changes, that's also a little death. If I find out something about someone that makes me think about them differently, that's a little death. If I change my mind, something causes me to change my opinions, especially about something I've believed before, that's a little death. And I'm bringing this up because we're going to end chapter 7. We're just kind of going back and having some completion for that chapter before going on to chapter 8 tomorrow. And what I love about chapter 7 and many of the chapters of the Gita is it ends with a verse about death. Every time we take a step on the spiritual path, it's also a little death, because we have to be willing to give up all we've accomplished so far to go on. And this can be scary. I'll read 2 verses for you today from the Hearing the Song of Your Soul book, although it's in any of the Song of Your Soul books, this translation I'm using. It's going to be verse 19 and verse 30. Yeah, we'll go with just 2. Krishna is offering Arjun reassurance. Arjun's world is being rocked. Everything he believes that he knew about himself, that he knew about others, that he knew about life, that he knew about war, that he knew about even God, his idea of God and the Supreme, how could God do this, is passing away. And Krishna is offering reassurance. One of the ideas that sometimes Westerners get stuck on is this idea of rebirth. Rebirth doesn't have to mean after you physically die, then a new form. Since every moment of change is a little death, every moment after that is a rebirth. If we grasp that opportunity, we can truly change. How many of you want to change something in your lives? All right? So it's always an opportunity, a little death, a little rebirth. We often go back to exactly what we were before. And rebirth can also mean stages of life. Retirement, for example. I want to retire and live this wonderful, easy lifestyle. But if I've been go, 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 go up to my retirement, that switch might be hard to make. You can look at it as a chance to be reborn. We'll read from verses 7:19 and then jump to the very end, 7:30. And I'll chant it in the meter. Krishna is talking about the one on the spiritual path. His many rebirths finally lead to me, that great soul who knows that all is but the inner self is very difficult to find. Those who know me as the essence of God's and world and sacrifice, steadfast in mind, they will know me, even at the moment of death. So it's easy to read this and think, well, Krishna's talking about himself knowing me, but he's talking about the big M me, the greater self, the true self. Every rebirth leads you closer to Krishna, if you prefer to think of this as something outside of yourself, but also closer to who you are. Every time there's a change in the world, in your life, you have an opportunity to see who you really are and to embrace that so that at the time of your death, you know who you are. You're not going, oh man, I wish I would have. No, you know who you are. You know what you need to do in the world, which can bring a great amount of peace. There's a wonderful quote from author Anne Rice, who wrote the Vampire series, Vampire Lestat, and those beings lived a very long time in her fiction, but they spoke some truths, and one of the truths was the longer you live, the more you become yourself. So today, know yourself. If there's something you want to change about your life and your little self so that you can contact your big inner self, every time there's a change, there's an opportunity for you to take a step toward that rebirth of being you, being who you really want to be. And if this appeals to you, chapter 7 might be the path for you in this moment. Shall we practice? Let's do it. Ah. Let's change sides. An opportunity for rebirth. All righty. Time for our meditative practice. You can do your own, or perhaps contemplate each breath today and how the end of each breath is like a little death. Something has to change. What do you want to be in those moments? How do you choose to rebirth yourself for the next breath? There we go. Welcome back. Perhaps you can hear the sound of the trashmen driving by. Perhaps not. I hope you can hear that today's practice is dedicated to Tsunami and his people. Tsunami, the orange cat who would attend yoga classes. It's said in English that cats have 9 lives. Tsunami had those chances at rebirth. And now, so do you. May you have a wonderful day filled of ever new opportunities to be you. I hope to see you tomorrow for chapter 8. Until then.